Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose, such as criticism, commenting, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, education, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Sunday. And I apologize in advance if you just came home from church praising the Most High and you got to hear this demon talk on 60 Minutes. Now, I understand. She's gone. She's back in California with the alleged girlfriend beater and the two white daughters, stepdaughters, whatever. But it's politics. Got to talk about it. So apparently they released the interview that Kamala Harris did during the election cycle with 60 Minutes. Now, for those who remember, we only got clips. We got rumors. We got this. And we wanted to see the whole thing. So this morning, we're going to watch the whole thing. It's only about 54 minutes, but you know how we do it. When she says something stupid or we can make a crack at a joke, we're going to do it, which will probably push it to about an hour and a half. And then we'll open up the phone lines. We'll let people sound off on what they heard. So make sure you take notes. And we're going to have fun. But before we start with that, let's see who's in the building. Jerry Bedford, hello. Wallow J, hello. Gamers Den, hello. Brother Torian, hello. Anthony Ruger Phillips, hello. Cosmo Fury, hello. Eddie Foster, thank you for being a member for 4 months. That's a blessing. That helps me reinvest back in the platform. Only costs 99 cents. And buy toys and clothes for the baby. And when you let us know how long you've been a member, or you do become a member, or give us a super chat or a super sticker, we tell you how much of a blessing that is. And you get this here. Rokamuro, hello. Sybil, hello. SD Johnson, hello. Erky Yoga, hello. And for those who haven't said anything in the live chat or the comments, hello. All right, so let's get into it. Again, this is Kamala Harris, the full interview on 60 Minutes.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
And then you know that mold is at an all-time high today, which is the one thing I am allergic to.
Yeah.
Okay. Pollen is down.
Mold is up.
Mold is up. You know, I know that as a matter of fact, because I was watching CBS this morning.
There you go.
Now that I think about it.
Learn something new every day.
Indeed.
Coming around. Done? Yeah. Got it on both? Good, done? Yes.
Stay playing with her here. Play with that Yaki. Go ahead.
Wrong, perfectly happy.
Everybody happy? Good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, Madam Vice President, one, thank you for doing this.
Of course.
And thank you for inviting us into your home.
Of course.
We're going to be running this on the anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel.
October 7th.
So let's just start with Israel. Yeah.
This is not my audio. That's their audio.
Okay, whoever's in the dining room. Okay.
Okay. She can't even control her own
Let's
house.
Start with Israel.
Okay.
The events of the past few weeks have pushed us to the brink, if not into, an all-out regional war in the Middle East. What can the U.S. do at this point to stop this from spinning out of control?
Well, let's start with October 7th, because obviously what we do now must be in the context of what has happened. And as I reflect on a year ago and that 1,200 people were massacred, young people at a festival, at a music festival, 250 hostages were taken, including Americans. Women were brutally raped. And as I said then, I maintain Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. And as we fast forward into what we have seen in the ensuing weeks and months, far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. And we know that, and I think most agree, this war has to end. And that has to be our number one imperative. And that has been our number one imperative. How can we get this war to end? Well, critical elements of that are we have got to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. We have to get aid in. We have to lay the path toward a two-state solution. I do believe that we must maintain that as an objective, no matter how out of reach it seems at the moment. And the work that we have to do is also pay attention to what is happening every day in the region and put U.S. resources into everything we can do diplomatically and otherwise to de-escalate what is happening in the region.
We supply Israel with billions of dollars in military aid. And yet, Prime Minister Netanyahu seems to be charting his own course. The Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, has pressed him to agree to a ceasefire. He's resisted. You urged him not to go into Lebanon. He went in anyway. He has promised to make Iran pay for the missile attack, and that has the potential of expanding the war. Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Well, let's start with this. On this subject, the aid that we have given Israel allowed Israel to defend itself against 200 ballistic missiles that were just meant to attack the Israelis and the people of Israel. And I think that is the most recent example of why what we do to assist in their defense around military aid is important. And when we think about the threat that Hamas, Hezbollah presents, Iran, I think that it is without any question our imperative to do what we can to allow Israel to defend itself against those kinds of attacks.
Y'all haven't been talking about Hezbollah since 2023. So evidently Hezbollah is not a threat. I'm just saying. Y'all focused on Hamas. But let's bring Iran into it. So y'all know Iran be giving people these missiles and you still go over there screwing them. Then you act dumb when they do something. It's hilarious. Here's an idea. Leave people alone.
Now, the work that we do diplomatically with the leadership of Israel is an ongoing pursuit around making clear our principles, which include the need for humanitarian aid, the need for this war to end, the need for a deal to be done, which would release the hostages and create a ceasefire. And we're not going to stop in terms of putting that pressure on Israel and in the region, including with other leaders in the region, including Arab leaders.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administrations and treaties.
Oh, he not playing.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
Remember, they killed this black man for asking him questions. He already given her the business, and we only about 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in. He giving her the business. Let's go. Hey, I know you're a black man. I know they try to get you fired from CBS, but we liking what we're hearing so far. But go ahead.
Get to work. Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Jesus Christ. Is this a joke? Huh? Are you joking right now?
What the hell did she just say? I'm gonna play it again. I don't know what the hell she just said.
By Israel that were for
all of your administrations and treaties.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
She's channeling her inner Diddy talking about can't stop, won't stop. What are you talking about? The question was simple. When y'all gonna get in Netanyahu and tell him to leave that place alone? But of course, again, it's command me. She don't answer questions directly. But again, what politician does? Okay, continue, madam. Continue.
Just one last. Do we have a real close ally in Prime Minister Netanyahu?
No.
I think, with all due respect, the better question is, do we have an important alliance between the American people and the Israeli people? And the
answer, no. She don't like that man. Biden don't like that man. And that scumbag don't like either one of them. This is what she should have said when he asked that question.
Smack! Who is this nigga?
That's what you should have said. But of course, she has to be like, it's about the people. Well, guess what? We saw how the Israelis act when they see melanated people. So we good.
Get to work! The answer to that question is yes. And we are going to do what is important to support whatever leadership is in Israel that is defending the security of the state of Israel.
Let's shift gears. Most basically.
That pause was great. You know, she's like, damn, was that a good one? Did your earpiece work? Were they cheering you or they were like, ooh?
Of questions. Why do you want to be president of the United States?
Talk about Ruby Bridges one time. That gets everybody.
There are many reasons, but probably first and foremost, I truly believe in the promise of America.
By the way, screenshot. Now, we're going to be interactive this morning. What do you think she's going to say? Because I didn't watch this. We're watching it all together for the first time. What do you think she said the promise of America was? And if you know the answer, don't say it. I'm going to give it about 60 seconds. I'm going to help y'all out one time. What do y'all think her promise of America is? That is a crazy picture. But anyway, how are y'all doing this morning? I meant to ask it. I'm over here trying to put desks together. And of course, they come from China, so it's cheap as. And the next law, so I'm in a foul mood, so don't say nothing stupid. I'm gonna block you. All right, let's see what we got for answers. DSA one said something stupid. Alicia Hill, good morning. You said I come from a middle class family. All right. Wallow J said happy vibes. Stone Ancestors said joy. SD Johnson said she ready to laugh. More joy. Jay feels good morning. All right, let's find out. Oh, by the way. Anthony said to rule the world as brain always says from Piggy in the Brain. Well, let's try to take over the world. All right, let's see. Let's see what Kamala Harris says about why she wants to become president.
Get to work!
I do. And I love the American people. You know, we are a people who have.
She's speaking French. She said we. All right. Even though you're Canadian, but you're American people. All right. I just want y'all to understand she's speaking French in less than 10 minutes.
Who is we? Who is we?
You so talking about we that they didn't even vote for you, Matam. You talking about we so much. All right. Let the baguettes fly.
Ambition and aspirations and dreams and optimism and hope. If you look at the character of who we are and how we have achieved.
AADOH, the African American Department of whatever. I don't know what she's talking about again, but okay, continue.
The strength that we have achieved, I believe in large part it is because of our character and our belief in the promise of America. And I'm running for president.
What the hell? So wait a minute. She started talking about the promise of America and then bookended with the promise of America. And we still don't even know in the middle what the promise of America is. Those 5 things she mentioned is not the promise of America. You can dream in another country. You can have hope in another country. You can have optimism in another country. I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Because I want to do everything that is possible to create an opportunity for people to achieve those goals, those ambitions, and those dreams.
Like that economy?
And that is why you will hear me talk about my plan for an opportunity economy, to invest in what we can do, not only to bring the cost of living and prices down for folks, because even though we've achieved a lot of success, prices are still too high. You know it, I know it. But what
Ma'am, if you guys have had all this success, why are your prices high? Like, I don't get it. If you've achieved all this success, you put out all these bills, all these laws, why are the prices of things so high? Why are people not happy? Now, I get it. Even in a prosperity, people are going to be upset about something. But where is this hope? Where is this winning? And MAGA don't come up in here and try to tell me y'all winning, because y'all not. Because even your man, family, we're going to give you a little break today. Even your mans came out yesterday, MAGA, and said he's disappointed by the low deportation numbers. So, MAGA, where's all this winning? I should have put this on the phone, because then they're going to come in here and try to explain that. I'm just asking. But go ahead, Kamala. Keep going.
what we can do to invest in the innovation that is happening in startups and our small businesses, what we can do to invest in the industries of the future,
You had
what
4
we can
years.
do to maintain America's strength in the global context.
But that's why you want to run. That's why you want to be.
That's why I'm
president.
running. That and some other reasons.
But you're
What's the other
you're
reasons?
asking the American people to make you the most powerful person on the planet.
Mhm.
Why do you deserve the American people's votes?
He did. I forgot that button was there. Okay, we're back. My fault. I see why they wanted to fire that black man.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
He is giving her the business right now. Put me in the corner. I want to make sure y'all get all this. I know y'all don't want to look at a hairline. You think that's the look she had when Willie pulled it out? I'm just saying. All right, Kamala. You were asked another question. Let's hear what you got to say.
Well, first of all, I have a career and a history of being very clear that I think of my role of leadership, and in particular now for the last 4 years as vice president and moving forward as president, if the voters will have me, as being a leader on behalf of all Americans. As you know, I spent the majority of my career as a prosecutor. And I'm going to tell you, I never asked a victim of crime, a witness, whether they were a Democrat, are you a Republican, are you an independent? The only thing I ever asked folks is, are you okay? And I
Well, you were the prosecutor in San Francisco. Most opportunities, they're probably Democrats or liberals, but I'm just assuming. You asked, are you okay? Now, did you ask that question specifically, or did you have somebody in the office ask that and they just gave you the transcript? Or you heard the recording? Let me know. Because last I heard it, you didn't even try in many cases. But okay.
I believe that America deserves a leader who works on behalf of all Americans and understands the importance of knowing that the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And my career and my work has always been about being grounded in common sense approaches to getting things done.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, she's lying.
Comes to what we need to do as it relates to national security. We just had that conversation. That includes understanding and respecting the power and the strength of the United States of America and our then responsibility to be a global leader, to nurture and strengthen our alliances around the world, to respect the U.S. military and its most noble mission, to do the work of appreciating alliances, be it NATO or others, to do the work of pursuing diplomacy when it is in the best interest of our national security and prosperity. And
Jesus Christ.
my
She's still
experiences
talking?
tell me not only that those must be priorities of the United States of America and the President of the United States of America and the Commander-in-Chief of the United States of America, but also all of those experiences tell me that the American people in this election have a clear choice. Because on the other side of the equation,
Here we
we're
go.
looking at the former president, Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
who has shown himself to be, when he was a commander-in-chief, someone who gave away America's standing in terms of our principles of standing up to dictators and autocrats. You see how he compliments Putin even today. Someone who was prepared to walk away from our alliances. NATO is the strongest military alliance the world has ever known.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I guess you forgot about the British Navy one time. I guess you forgot about the American military during World War II. I guess you forgot about that. All right. NATO. Okay. Strongest force on the world right now, though, all seriousness, is Onco black people. If people hated us so much, we fuck around and make the axis stop spinning. Everybody dead. I'm just saying.
Someone in Donald Trump who openly criticizes the United States military, men and women who are prepared to, at great sacrifice, serve our country and defend the principles upon which we were founded. He calls them suckers and losers.
But Madam Vice President, a quarter of registered voters still say they don't know you. They don't know what makes you
Facts.
And why do you think that is? I mean, you have been vice president for almost 4 years. You've been on the national scene for longer. What's the disconnect?
It's an election.
3 times.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
He giving her the business. And her first word was, it's an election. Ma'am, you've been in the public eye since the early 2000s. Just stop. You've been on a national stage since the early 2000s, and it was right for him to ask that question. Most people don't even know who you are. They know Trump. They know Biden. Hell, they even knew the people that were running in the Republican nomination sector. They knew them. They don't know you. You're like the administrative assistant to a governor who now wants to run to be governor. Who are you? They knew about you when you were trying to give money to them 2 African countries for them to stop being anti-LGBTQ, and they took the money and said, "Now we're going to keep going." Ghana and Uganda. They know you where the borders are, and the border had 2 of the biggest years of crossings under your watch in history. They know that. You had a whole bunch of people fanboy and fangirl and run interference when we over here were telling you and everybody that you're not black. Your people come from Jamaica and India. Nothing wrong with that. Admit it and embrace it. You try to play like you're a black woman. Every time somebody asks you, you either said they're being ridiculous or you started laughing. And here we are. You're lost. And people still don't know you. They know your husband, though. And they know your stepchildren. They don't know you, and you are the candidate. Ain't that something? But anyway, you got an answer. Let's hear you. You said it's an election, and I cut you off. That's my fault.
Get to work!
Bill. And I take it seriously that I have to earn everyone's vote. And that's why I'm traveling our country. I've seen you in a few states in the last couple of days. I am talking with folks where they live. I am listening to folks and working to earn the vote of every American. This is an election for President of the United States. No one should be able to take for granted that they can just declare themselves a candidate and automatically receive support. You have to earn it. And that's what I intend to do.
Let me tell you what your critics and the columnists say.
Okay.
They say that the reason so many voters don't know you is that you have changed your position. So many things. You were against fracking, now you're for it. You supported looser immigration policies, now you're tightening them up. You were for Medicare for all, now you're not. So many that people don't truly know what you believe or what you stand for. And I know you've heard that.
So you're John Kerry 20 years later. He did the same thing against Bush, and he lost. Then got a mercy booking with Obama. But go ahead.
So let's be clear. First of all, a lot of the positions that you were talking about have been discussed and dispensed with in 2020, 4 years ago.
That's a lie.
But let me be clear on something. In the last 4 years, I have been Vice President of the United States.
Correct.
Not a senator from a particular state.
Correct.
Not coming from a particular state.
Correct.
But Vice President of the United States of America. And I have been traveling our country. And I've been listening to folks and seeking what is possible in terms of common ground, common sense solutions, building consensus. And that is why I have taken the positions that I take. Not dispensing with my values, but understanding we have to, a real leader has to find consensus. So for example, on the issue of fracking, I've been very clear since 2020. I will not end fracking. I did not as vice president. In fact, as vice president of the United States, I cast the decisive vote. I broke the tie in Congress.
Because you needed to, you dingbat. She can't be this. She's not serious, right? Ooh. Okay. Kamala Harris. You want to explain this? You were against it in 2016. You sued Obama. Maybe that's why he was so pissed off at you and wanted you primaried. As Attorney General for the state of California, Harris actively sued the Obama administration in 2016 to prevent fracking activities off California's coast. In 2019, Harris said she would support banning fracking in 2019 when she ran in the Democratic primary for the presidency. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking, she said during the Democratic presidential town hall on climate change hosted by CNN on September 4th, 2019. During the 2020 debate against Dem Vice President Mike Pence, Harris did not state her opposition to a ban on fracking. Instead, she said Joe Biden will not ban fracking. The statement she reiterated in front of journalists a few days before the 2020 election. Harris cast the decisive tie-breaking vote on the IRA on August 7, 2022 in the Senate. She has since repeatedly used Biden's administration record on energy to justify her U-turn on the matter, including the IRA requirement to lease public lands for oil and gas drilling. This opened new leases for fracking, she claimed during the debate. 4 times now, that black man. 4.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
But you gonna sit up there and say I ain't changed it. I've been on record since 2020. Come on, lady.
Threatened and child, listen, I want y'all
I
to
am
tell
no
me
child.
whether or
Do
not
Get to work!
allows more leases for fracking. On the issue of healthcare in America, my value has always been that access to healthcare should be a right and not just a privilege of those who can afford it, which is why I cast the tie-breaking vote in the United States Congress that has now allowed us to cap the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month. The work that I have been a part of and helped lead about capping the cost of prescription medication for our seniors at $2,000 a year, all born out of my belief that
No,
we
you
need to
got that
bring
from the
price of medication
DNC. Don't
down
tell that lie.
because it has been too expensive for too many people to the point that they couldn't even afford to fill their prescription. That's why I've been a huge advocate for what we have accomplished finally to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices on behalf of the American people.
Madam, I see why y'all wanted that man arrested and thrown off the air. I know. It's amazing. They always tell you the internet is forever and y'all still lie.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in
Oh boy. During her 2019 campaign, Harris's position on the future of private healthcare insurance was sometimes confusing. Joe Biden's campaign manager at the time, Kate Bedingfield, said of Harris that she had a long and confusing pattern of equivocating about her stance on healthcare in America. During the primary debate in 2019, Harris raised her hand when moderators asked candidates if they would get rid of private health insurance. She quickly walked that back, saying that no, she would not work to eliminate private health insurance because she knew them donor dollars were going to start drying up. Earlier that year, in April 2019, Harris co-sponsored Senator Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All bill, which would have ended private health insurance and replaced it with a single government-run issuer for everyone in America. Harris released a health care plan in 2019 that would have put the U.S. on a path to government-backed health insurance over 10 years, but would not eliminate private health insurance. So you co-sponsored a bill for one, and then you had a plan released that would have given people choice. Harris will not push for single-payer government health insurance as president, according to a campaign official. You understand why that man said what he said. Nobody knows you.
All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of get.
You have said that your values haven't changed, but your positions have. And I think people want to know, is this evolution or, as your critics say, opportunism?
I think that we should understand the importance of a leader building consensus. I believe in building consensus. And I believe in finding a way that the American people, and we are a diverse people, geographically, regionally, based on whether it be urban, rural, agricultural, we are a diverse people in terms of where we are in our backgrounds. And what the American people do want is that we have leaders who can build consensus. where we can figure out compromise and understand it's not a bad thing as long as you don't compromise your values to find common sense solutions. And that has been my approach.
Let's move on to the economy. As you were saying, well, first of all, the economy and inflation, those are the primary concerns of the American voters this election year. You just got some blockbuster jobs report, a blockbuster job report the other day. And there are lots of signs that the American economy is doing very well, better than most countries, I think. But the American people don't seem to be feeling it. Groceries are 25% higher than when you took office. And people are blaming you and Joe Biden for that. Are they wrong?
No, because it's your budget. Y'all were operating for, at that point, you were on your third budget, your third fiscal budget, third, at the time of this interview. So how is the economy doing well for rich people? Well, all of us saw and watched the grocery prices go up. The gas fluctuate all the time. What Biden tried to pull was Saudi Arabia. The price of screws going up, electronics. Where is this relief? Y'all were sitting there fighting over the child tax credit. Come on now.
So you are correct that under our leadership, the United States of America has recovered and is stronger than any other so-called developed nation in the world, in particular after the crisis that was the pandemic. And understand, we came into office facing a disaster in large part because of the mismanagement of the former president, Donald Trump.
So how did China become the #1 superpower in the world, man? I know y'all don't want to tell people that. But all right.
Where the economy was in a slump, people were dying by the hundreds. It was a real crisis. But because of our
I thought it was thousands.
We now have
allegedly
historic low unemployment in America among all groups of people.
That's a damn lie, and you know it.
We now have an economy that is thriving by all macroeconomic measures.
Notice that word she just played, macroeconomics. Family. Let me reduce her a little bit. I need y'all to watch that. When people start talking about economics and they use the prefix macro, they know you're not going to dig. Macro means everything, the large. If on optics the large looks good, you're going to assume that everything is good. You're not going to dig. If she would have said micro, everybody would have looked at every metric and it would have been like, well, your CPI report, it looks off. Yeah, we know you can inflate the GDP. We know this. Fine, you're exporting oil. The money not coming back the way it should. How are you adjusting for competition now, post-pandemic? Why aren't you mentioning BRICS? There's other factors, but she'll never say stuff like that. Well, she can't now because she lost.
We have recovered in a way that we have created almost 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. We have created over 16 million new jobs as a whole.
Where are they?
And to your point, prices are still too high. And I know that, and we need to deal with it, which is why part of my plan, you mentioned groceries. Part of my plan is what we must do to bring down the price of groceries. I'm taking on an issue I've taken on before as Attorney General, the issue of price gouging.
Now that we figured out why they were price gouging, why didn't you mention that? You might have won. You might have got a lot of independent voters if you just tell them that U.S. aid was subsidizing all these people to lower the supply so they could up the demand, so they could charge whatever they wanted because they know Americans are decadent and they want the stuff. Or how the government allegedly was paying these companies to destroy inventory through state laws so they can raise the demand and raise the price. But you never mention that during the campaign. Never. But you're the woman that took on transnational companies. I guess the major American corporations and the foreign ones that do business here, I guess they're too big, huh? You're scared of them, Miss Prosecutor. All right.
Which is not all, but some corporations and businesses that take advantage of a crisis and jack prices up, make the cost of groceries and other everyday essentials too expensive for the American people. I'm taking on the issue of housing. It's a big issue in our country. It's too expensive. There were generations before us that believed they could achieve the American dream, which included home ownership. Now I travel our country. I talk to young people every day, and they are so concerned they'll never be able to afford to buy a home or even start a family because of the cost of housing. So part of my plan is to put the resources into partnering with builders and developers,
BlackRock,
create incentives for them to build 3 million new homes,
Vanguard,
my first term, and my plan includes giving first-time home buyers the $25,000 down payment assistance,
which will be taxed,
so they can just get their foot in the door.
which will be taxed and would have given the government ownership over your home. Now we good.
Talk about that. You want to expand the child tax credit.
Yes, I do.
You want to give tax breaks to first-time home buyers.
Yes.
And people starting small businesses.
Correct.
But it is estimated by the Nonpartisan Committee for Responsible Federal Budget that your economic plan would add $3 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade. How are you going to pay for that?
All she had to say was, you got to spend money to make money. You hear me, Bill? You got to spend money to make money. That's how you do business. I bet you she didn't say that, though.
Okay, so the other economists that have reviewed my plan versus my opponent, because this is an election and there are two choices. Everyone from Goldman Sachs to Moody's to 16 Nobel laureates. So on the first point, comparing my economic plan to
Goldman Sachs almost fell in 2007. Goldman Sachs has been known to inflate numbers, allegedly. And what we're not going to do.
Donald Trump's economic plan, they have reviewed it and determined that my economic plan would strengthen America's economy. His would weaken it. 16 Nobel laureates, Moody's, others, have determined after reviewing what Donald Trump is proposing that he would induce inflation, increase inflation, and bring about a recession by the middle of next year. My plan, Bill, if you don't mind, my plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy. Small businesses are part of the backbone of America's economy.
But pardon me, Madam Vice President. The question was, how are you going to pay for it?
He did it again. Bill is on it.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
By the way, screenshot. She looked like a whole cartoon character if you look cross-eyed.
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes. Listen, again, my opponent, when he was president, issued a tax cut for people like himself, billionaires and the biggest corporations. My perspective,
Bet you took it, though.
Everybody needs to pay their fair share. It is not right that teachers and nurses and firefighters are paying a higher tax rate than billionaires and the biggest corporations. And I plan on making that fair.
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But the real world includes.
How are you going to get this through Congress?
You know, when you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know exactly what I'm talking about because their constituents know exactly what I'm talking about. Their constituents are those firefighters and teachers and nurses. Their constituents are middle-class, hardworking folk who know that it is not right that hardworking people are paying a higher tax rate than the richest people who can afford to pay their fair share. So that's how we deal with it. But understand also that this is, yes, it is about how we pay for what we're doing, but understand it's not, it doesn't end there. My plan is actually about strengthening America's economy, not just netting zero. My plan is about doing what we can do for small businesses and startups. Right now, the tax deduction bill for a startup, $5,000. In 2024, nary a person going to be able to start a small business.
Nary.
$5,000. So I'm going to extend it to $50,000. My plan is about what we need to do to, yes, expand the child tax credit, because for young families, for the first year of their child's life, $6,000 allows them to buy a crib, a car seat, and just be able to not just get by, but get ahead for that most critical stage of their child's development. We all benefit from that. We all benefit from that.
Why didn't you do it while you were in office? This is why I kept getting at her for forgetting about Black female mortality rates when they give birth. She campaigned on that, talked about it for the first year, and then forgot about it, then tried to bring it up when she was running. You don't care about people and their families because you don't have one.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
I understand, but that sounds great. It does. It all sounds good.
You're giving her the business.
The reality is these tax cuts have been in place for years.
They're about to expire.
Yes, and Congress has shown no inclination to move in your direction.
Correct.
I disagree with you. There are plenty of leaders in Congress who understand and know that the Trump tax cuts blew up our federal deficit and care about the deficit in a way that they know. We must address it by making sure that our tax policy reflects fairness. And again, understand none of us, and certainly I cannot afford to be myopic in terms of how I think about strengthening America's economy. And that has to include, where are we investing our resources in a way that we maximize the return on the investment? Let me tell you something. I am a devout public servant. You know that. I am also a capitalist. And I know the limitations of government. Part of the work I've always done and the work I will do as president includes engaging the private sector to join in what we can do, whether it be, again, tax incentives for builders or developers, or what we need to do to increase the work I've already done to get some of our biggest finance houses and corporations to invest in community banks to increase access to capital for small businesses. So all of this work must be done, but we have to have a holistic approach that is comprehensive.
I guess what I was asking, if all of this makes so much sense, why has this not been done? You're dealing with a Congress that is divided, that many are in opposition to not only you but your policies. So how are you going to make this come true?
If I approached my life as though, well, it's never been done before, therefore it cannot be done, I wouldn't be sitting here in this interview with you. That's the truth. But I do believe that we have to have leadership in our country as we turn the page on all of these sadly powerful forces that have been trying to divide us. We have to turn the page on that and chart a new way forward that is driven by building consensus and building common ground. Listen, you look at my campaign. I am supported by over 200 former members of Mitt Romney, John McCain, both President Bush, and even former President Trump's teams.
Who cares? So you're going to brag that you got Republicans on your side. Y'all are all the same.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
Who cares? George Bush doesn't care about black people. Dick Cheney shot somebody. He was part of the Carlisle group. Maybe you forgot about that. He got more money than you. He don't care. They don't like Trump. I could have ran up there and they would have said, hey, we're going to put all our might behind you. I tell them respectfully, I don't want it. You bragging about some white men that are behind you. Never mind.
Oh, I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that. Oof.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
I have the support of people who, Republicans, who understand what is at stake in this election, be it as it relates to our democracy and our most fundamental principles. And I do believe, based on a collective understanding we have, that America's politics has to get back to the place of encouraging healthy debate, but not division for the sake of division.
Just a couple more economic questions here.
Sure.
Donald Trump says that tariffs on imports, well, that would be the solution to all of our economic woes.
Nope.
You criticize his plan for tariffs, yet the Biden-Harris administration has left many of the Trump-era tariffs in place.
Of course they did. They're all the same. She's like, damn, I didn't think you were going to ask me that question.
Especially when it regards China. And President Biden has, in fact, expanded some of those tariffs. Would you continue the Trump-era tariffs if you're elected?
So part of the real problem that economists and others have pointed out about Trump's approach in this election, he is advocating what is at least a 20% tariff across the board on everyday necessities and goods, which economists have estimated will cost the average American family more than almost $4,000 a year, more than what they're already paying.
We've already been suffering with that, which is why I told y'all not to vote for that man. But, you know, they voted for him. They're going to find out.
For everyday
you've got tariffs.
goods, but let me get to my point. On everyday goods, so a across the board blanket policy on tariffs for everyday goods and necessities. Tariff policy we cannot afford to have. That is just a blind policy without looking at what we are talking about and what will it induce, what will it incentivize. On the point about China, look, America has to win the competition for the 21st century as it relates to China. And we need to have policy that includes investing in America, investing in American workers, investing in American manufacturing, investing in American supply chain.
Overseas.
And that is, I believe, smart and important policy, not only for the sake of our security, but also our prosperity.
So let's move on to immigration. You recently visited the southern border and embraced President Biden's recent crackdown on asylum seekers. And that crackdown produced an almost immediate and dramatic decrease in the number of border crossings. And you said you would take it even further. If that's the right answer now, why didn't your administration take those steps?
That cocaine boy. Talking about that pollen. That cocaine boy, allegedly.
In 2021.
So we came into office, and almost hours, Bill, after our inauguration, the first bill we proposed to Congress was to fix our broken immigration system, knowing that if you want to actually fix it, we need Congress to act. It was not taken up. Fast forward to a moment when a bipartisan group of members of the United States Senate, including one of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, got together, came up with a border security bill, which I support. Well, guess what happened? Donald Trump got word that this bill was afoot and could be passed, knowing that it could fix part of the problem. And he wants to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. So he told his buddies in Congress, kill the bill, don't let it move forward.
But Madam Vice President, I've been covering the border for years. And so I know this is not a problem that started with your administration.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did in 2021?
So regionally and actually globally, we have seen this as an issue. And America's obviously not immune from this issue. But the focus has to be, to your point, you've been covering it for years, it's a long-standing problem. And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions, which have not been picked up. And then when there was a border security bill, my opponent decided to run on the problem instead of fixing the problem. And understand what that bill would have done. That border security bill would have put 1,500 more agents at the border, which is why the Border Patrol Union supported it.
Mhm.
It would have put more resources into stemming the flow of fentanyl.
But that was
which is
just
a
this past
scourge.
year. That was just this past year. What I was asking was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay.
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the numbers
under your
today,
watch.
because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
But should you
We
have
have
done
cut
that?
the
Should you
flow
have
of
done that?
fentanyl by half, but we need Congress to be able to act, to actually fix the problem. I was just at the border.
Mhm.
I'm talking with these incredible men and women who are working around the clock because, again, they don't have the resources they need. We need an act of Congress who carries the purse to do it. Donald Trump told them don't act. I talked with the Border Patrol agents, some of the leaders. Part of the issue that they identified is we need more asylum judges. We need more processing of people who are coming to our border, and the resources aren't there. You know how those resources commensurate with the need get dedicated? Congress has to act.
But I guess my question is, it's a pretty simple one. If this is the right answer now, what you tried to do with the bipartisan bill.
And what we tried
this
to do on
spring.
day one, Bill, and what we tried to do on day one, when we came in, first order of business before we did the Inflation Reduction Act, before we did successfully, by the way.
She
That
bucking.
wasn't a
Here
first
we
bill.
go.
Before we did the infrastructure, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, a meaningful piece of legislation to deal with gun violence in America in 30 years.
She's getting mad.
First thing we did was to offer a comprehensive solution to create a pathway for citizenship and for people to earn it, and to deal with what we need to do to put more resources to ensure that we are able to heighten our level of security at the border.
So we do need to move on because our time is short, but I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution oriented, which we've been and are, and I am going forward, instead of leaders who want to make it a problem they can run on.
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
What the hell did she just say?
You're mentioning right now, you have accused Donald Trump of using racist tropes when it comes to Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, when it comes to birtherism, when it comes to Charlottesville. In fact, you have called him a racist and divisive. Yet Donald Trump has the support of millions and millions of Americans. How do you explain that?
So let's just break down what you just talked about and talk about it in the context of the words that Donald Trump has spoken and the actions he has taken, and whether that is reflective of who we are as Americans, knowing we have so much more in common than what separates us. We
What?
have a former president who wants to be president again,
Okay.
who has a bouquet of microphones in front of him, who has said the most vile lies about a group of legal immigrants in Springfield, Ohio.
Glad you brought that up. lies in front of microphones. Madam, weren't you the same chick who said that 16-year-olds are stupid? But then you advocated for them to be able to vote. Why would you want stupid people voting? Just thought we'd throw that out there. Can't have you being a hypocrite.
And if I may, Bill, let me just say something. You know, from the time I was a prosecutor to attorney general to now vice president, I learned very early in my career. When the voters bestow on you the authority to have these positions, you must be very thoughtful about how you use that microphone in front of you. And you know, when I was attorney general, the words I spoke could move markets. So the idea that the former
They could
president,
move
who, again,
markets.
is
That's
running
what
to
she
be
said.
president, would use that microphone in a way that is about vilifying and demeaning a whole population of people. You know what has happened because of that? One day when this happened was a school day, picture day for an elementary school. Picture day. You know what picture day is for our children? They get excited the night before. We put out the clothes they're going to wear. They go to school making sure their faces are clean and their hair is done. And they go to school for picture day. You know what happened to these children?
What happened?
They had to evacuate that day.
Okay.
Because of the fear of the threats that were being issued in Springfield because of the words of Donald Trump. So I say that I'm glad you are pointing these comments out that he has made that have resulted in a response by most reasonable people to say it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
So you have said you want to be the president of all the people.
Yes.
With so many people supporting Donald Trump, the man you've called a racist, how do you bridge that seemingly unbridgeable gap?
I believe that the people of America want a leader who's not trying to divide us and demean. I believe that the American people recognize that the true measure of the strength of a leader is not based on who you beat down, it's based on who you lift up. And I have traveled around our country, and I've met with people of every background and walk of life, including people who have supported Donald Trump in the past, who say to me they're ready to turn the page. They're exhausted with what he has been doing and that approach, and they want to chart a new way forward for our country.
So was democracy best served by President Biden stepping down and basically handing you a nomination? You didn't have to go through a primary process. You didn't have to fight off other contenders. That's not really the way our system was intended to work.
So President Biden made a decision that I think history is going to show is rare among leaders, which was to put country before self.
Excuse me.
And
we know what that meant.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
That's what that meant. He tried to play it off. Excuse me. Bullshit. I missed some. What's that you said? She was deflecting. Word.
Deflection! 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 Deflection!
Nasty word.
And I am proud to have earned the support of the vast majority of delegates and to have been elected the Democratic nominee to be.
They had no choice, ma'am. Who else are we going to put up there?
I am honored to have received the support and endorsement of over 200 Republicans who served in the last 3 Republican presidential administrations. I am proud to have earned the support of leaders of our national security community. I am proud to have received the endorsement of leaders around this country from every background and walk of life to fight in this election over the next month for our democracy and the principles upon which it stands. What is at stake in this election? You mentioned our democracy is whether we are a nation that abides by and respects the rule of law, and that we have a president who is the champion of following and respecting and upholding rule of law.
But I would
Not
think
someone who has been convicted of 34 felonies who tried to overturn the free and fair election, which was the will of the people on January 6th. Not someone who has said he would be a dictator on day one, not someone who has said, and these are his words, he would terminate the Constitution of the United States of America.
But I think this.
That's what y'all do too. Y'all just mad that he was open about it. He want to trample all over the Constitution, even though he tried yesterday talking about he gonna try to protect the Second Amendment. All right, dude. All right, dude. Mr. Bumstock band, but all right.
Truncated process is why people think or say they don't really know who you are.
Well,
talk.
There's no question. Look, I've been in this race for 70 days, and there is work to be done. It is without any question a short period of time. There's no question about that, which is why I'm traveling around our country. As I said earlier, I mean, you've seen me. I'm from one state to the next to the next. I don't know how many states I've been in this last week alone. Literally, I've lost count. So it is my responsibility to earn the vote, and I'm going to work to do that.
3/4 of the American voters, or likely voters, say that they are concerned about the possibility of election-related violence. And with 2 assassination attempts against former President Trump, the country seems near a boiling point. What can you do? What should you do to lower the temperature?
Well, first, let's start with those attempts, assassination attempts on the former president. I was deeply disturbed, shocked, and shaken, frankly, when they happened. I called the former president to check on him. But it is really important that all of us speak loudly, regardless of who we're voting for, to say our differences have to be settled at the ballot box and not through violence. We cannot lose our soul in terms of who we are as Americans by resorting to violence to settle our differences, much less to make a decision about who's going to be the next president of the United States.
But y'all ready to go to war? What? Y'all stay talking about war. But y'all don't want to talk about violence. Now you want to talk about we shouldn't use violence to settle our differences. Man, if you don't shut up.
Let's hit on some more foreign policy.
Ooh.
Which foreign policy do you consider to be our...
She got them flies up in the house.
Well, there are different reasons that we should be thoughtful about each. Most recently, I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. And look, I mean, Iran has American blood on their hands, okay? And what we saw in terms of just this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles, what we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
So if you have proof that Iran is building a nuclear weapon, would you take military action?
I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals at this moment.
What about China? China is strongly asserting its dominance, its control of the South China Sea, especially around the Philippines. What is the U.S. responsibility for keeping China from simply taking over the South China Sea?
Well, I have actually worked very closely with the leaders in the Philippines on just this very issue, and including the work that we are doing in terms of coordination between our military and training and what needs to happen in terms of protecting the freedom of the South China Sea. China, first of all, we must win the competition for the 21st century with China.
You're repeating yourself.
We must be able to compete and win. We should not seek conflict, but we have to understand that there are parameters in which we must operate that include ensuring, for example, that we protect American business interests.
So say if China attacks Taiwan, would we use military force to support Taiwan?
Bill, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals, but listen.
That's violence.
We need to make sure that we maintain a one China policy, but that includes supporting Taiwan's ability to defend itself, including what we need to do to ensure the freedom of the Taiwan Strait. But on the issue of China, we also, again, we cannot afford to have foreign policy that is myopic. We must be able to also, as it relates to China, continue to do the work that we have begun to deal with the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. That's a real issue. Again, you talk to families around our country who I on a constant, sadly, regular basis, meet parents and family members of people who have died from fentanyl, young people who have died from fentanyl. Are we going to stop trying to stem the flow of fentanyl? And we have to deal with that and understand China's role in that and our ability to work with China to stop that flow, which we have begun to do and I'm going to continue to do. We need to make sure we have open lines of communication with China, in particular, military to military. So these issues are all, they're multifaceted.
So what about Russia and Ukraine? What does the end of the war, what does success look like in ending the war in Ukraine?
There will be no success in ending that war without Ukraine and the UN Charter participating in what that success looks like. That being said, America must stand firm in being a leader in defending international rules and norms that include one of the most important, which is the critical nature and importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity.
Would you meet with President Vladimir Putin to negotiate a solution to the war in Ukraine?
Not bilaterally without Ukraine, no. Ukraine must have a say in the future of Ukraine.
How about, as president, would you support the effort to expand NATO to include Ukraine?
Those are all issues that we will deal with if and when it arrives at that point. Right now, we are supporting Ukraine's ability to defend itself against Russia's unprovoked aggression and doing what we can to continue to build and strengthen the alliance around the support for Ukraine's right to be an independent nation, free from having its borders forcefully taken by Russia. And we are going to continue to work closely with our NATO allies to continue to reinforce America's alliance in the context of NATO. Again, in this election, there's a real difference between me and the former president. I believe in reinforcing the strength of NATO, understanding, again, it is the greatest military alliance the world has ever known. Donald Trump would pull us out of NATO. Donald Trump, if he were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now. Let's be clear about that. He talks about, oh, he can end it on day one. You know what that is? It's about surrender.
Yet Zelensky said he ready to sit down and talk. Putin said they ready to sit down and talk. They said that before the election. They said that 90 days after the war started. Y'all were the ones who told them not to do it. Biden, you, and Blinken. All three of y'all said, don't do it. Lloyd Austin was in on it too, but he was in the back, pouring everybody water. Try again.
Achieving peace and an end to this war is not synonymous with surrender. Those two things are not the same.
It's a hard left turn here, but you recently surprised people when you said that you are a gun owner. And then if someone came into your
That
house,
was not the first time I've
they would get
talked
shot.
about it. That's not the first time I've talked about it, but it's, I mean, I don't talk about it a lot. But
So what kind of gun do you own?
Man, that's literally the point. You literally made his point for him that he's been saying all day. They don't know you.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
She didn't even pick up on it.
When and why did you get it?
I have a clock, and I've had it for quite some time. And
Now, we heard this.
Look, my background is in law enforcement, and so there you go.
Have you ever fired
She's a
it?
cop.
Yes. Of course I have. At a shooting range. Yes, of course I have. And to just give you more detail, and I store it in a lockbox, and it is safely stored, and as any responsible gun owner does.
I'm getting the countdown here, but one last thing. You are sitting here with us. Mm-hmm. The Trump campaign canceled an interview that they had agreed to participate in this broadcast. What do you make of that?
Listen, I think that look, I think that your viewers.
Ooh, they were talking in her ear. They're talking in her ear.
And
Look at Aaron. They're talking in her ear.
Watch what he says at his rallies. If he is not going to give your viewers the ability to have a meaningful, thoughtful conversation, question and answer with you, then watch his rallies. And what you're going to hear are comments about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. You're going to hear conversations of suggesting that human beings are eating their pets. You're going to hear conversations that are about himself and all of his personal grievances. Words that are intended to divide our country is what you will hear. And what you will not hear is anything about you, the listener. You will not hear a plan about how he's going to make your life better. You will not hear a plan about how he's going to strengthen the middle class. You will not hear about how he is going to strengthen small businesses. You will not hear about how he's going to try to bring the country together, find common ground. And Bill, that is why I believe in my soul and heart the American people are ready to turn the page.
You have said that the country is exhausted.
Yes.
With the rhetoric and the finger pointing. How about you? Are you exhausted?
I'll be exhausted on November 6th. Not now. Not now. Too much to do. Too much to do.
Madam.
Well, that was the interview. All right, so we open the line. Y'all can speak on it. I don't know what the hell she was talking about, but you know. Shout out to Bill. He was on it.
Sharp like a razor to blood clot.
All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, your thing not working. All right. Came up too quick. Pause. So we'll take a consensus for the family. What would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10? You can even use negatives. Yes, sir. Yeah, your thing not working. Yeah, I'm gonna let you fix that one time. All right. Something wrong with that lady. That lady just all over the road, doesn't answer direct questions, but again, what politician does, and it's just like, shoot. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sí, señor.
Can you hear me?
Sí, señor. Hello, señor. Welcome to Pollo Campero.
I
What
don't
would
know
you
what
like,
the hell's
sir?
going on. It could be the weather up here.
It could be you're from Jersey. Please fix your stuff. Please. Thank you, sir. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Goddamn Jersey. Here we go. All right, family. If you were in Torian's live, you know what's about to happen.
Hills and mountains. Yeah! Now that's got to be 90. That just literally knocked me right off my feet. I'm 2 bills, and that just knocked me right off. 6'1", 2 bills, and goodbye. Thank God.
Yes, Miss Niecy.
Good morning, Goat Smell. How you doing?
Bah.
That was fun.
Wasn't it?
I guess we are the unofficial class clowns.
Yes. Yes. Takes me back to my elementary school days. Yes. I was trying to come back up because I had a picture of that curry goat in the can.
Oh, God.
I was going to get you, but Torian yelled at me and said, whoever that is, I'm ending the show.
That
yeah.
damn interview. Same as we always thought, the bitch is stupid.
Of course. But, you know, I just wanted the full context because, you know, everybody said that they edited it. I wanted to hear everything. And we didn't really learn much.
No. She talked in word salad the whole time.
Yes.
This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But her political career was always about her looks, not what she knew.
I mean, that's always true. Like I tell y'all, I'm waiting for that book to come out when she says she's not black. I'm waiting for it.
You know what I find truly amazing? I talked to some associates that told me they voted for her.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of them, and I didn't argue, but they said, well, I don't understand why they wouldn't vote for a black woman. I said, the bitch ain't black. Can you not see?
Yeah, she not, they go by what people tell them.
No, they need to get educated by the new black media, and then they would have been in the know.
Man, they ain't gonna come over here. You know that. This is the problem area.
Well, I'll be the problem. That makes sense.
There you go. But I just want y'all to know those who were riding with her. If she come out and write in that book that she wasn't black, don't even say nothing. Just keep moving through life.
All I gotta say is, Black Alpha, when he did the breakdown on her lineage, if you weren't convinced then, you didn't want to be.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta love the fact that we got something coming for y'all later this week about old Vivek.
No, I don't want to hear nothing about that fan Negro.
Nah, it'll probably be an uploaded video. Talk.
But anyway, I want you to send me my bowl of gumbo, please.
West Virginia don't know nothing about no good gumbo.
I ain't talking about the state. I'm talking about me. Send me my bowl of gumbo.
We'll try. We'll try.
No, you lying.
You remember what happened last time when you started?
Go ahead.
I ain't gonna do it. It's Sunday.
You lying.
I'm not gonna play it.
You are lying.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm not gonna play it. I swear, not today. I don't feel like playing it today.
Yeah. You gonna wait right at the end of the stream and then play it like you did the other day.
That was just because it was you.
You know what? I will say again. I appreciate our banter between us because you are the shit stirrer, and I help you stir the shit. So we good. We family.
I'm not gonna play that. I don't feel like it. I'm trying to.
Yeah, you already got it teed up. I go on and play that shit.
I really don't. I'm trying to put this Chinese table together. It's pissing me off.
You gonna watch the Super Bowl today?
Hell no.
You ain't gonna even watch the halftime show?
I might watch the halftime show, but I ain't got no. Listen, I'm a Giants fan, and I hate Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs because of Andy Reid, and I hate the Eagles because they in my division. The only thing I got on this game is I got 2 bets going on. That's it.
I don't do sports, but the only thing I don't know if I'm gonna watch the halftime show live or wait for the highlights to get uploaded on YouTube because I don't like no football.
You ain't gonna see the highlights on YouTube because they gonna flag it.
I just want to know if they're gonna play not like us.
I mean, I told my wife that yesterday. They might.
I mean, the man played. The man won the Grammy for Song of the Year.
Yeah,
they got to play that song.
It's that line.
Well, I'm like this. I'm hopeful that Kendrick will perform the song.
We'll see. Yo 103 Queen and see.
Y'all trying to get me go to hell.
Y'all motherfuckers ran outside when y'all won the championship for the conference. Y'all destroyed your city. Get out of here. No. I hope both of them lose. How about that?
All right. Well, I'm going to drop back down. You have a blessed day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Don't tell me about the Eagles.
Jesus Christ. Is this a joke? Huh? Are you joking right now?
The Sheagles? The Sheagles. The Sheagles. Didn't y'all lose to this team last time? Look at them feet.
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what the hell that was. That was just some bullshit just to listen to for the day. You like my feet, sir?
Pause. We know you Philly muff love greasy light poles. Pause.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I especially like that she's trying to come out with that book, and ain't nobody gonna buy it.
No one.
I told y'all Candace Owens was a feminist, but all right.
Yeah. Dude, hold on. Let me change this because these feet are ugly. Because I'm tired of looking at these feet already. Hold on. Let's see if I can change my
You
stuff
the one
back.
downloading. You tired of looking at her feet.
No, I actually
She
got
want
it
to
off
suck on her
Twitter.
toe. Come on.
I got it off Twitter. I got it off Twitter. Trust me.
That's fine. You search for it.
Because it popped up on my news feed. Leave me alone.
And then you download.
I don't have a foot fetish. Trust me, I'll tell
You
you.
long press the picture. You saved it in your phone and you used it to come up here and you changed your name to her feet because you want to suck on the toes. It's okay. She's an American citizen. She's an American citizen. It's okay. It's all right.
Hell no. No, it's not all right. That's disgusting, sir.
Sir, she more American than me.
No, she's not. You're more American than her, sir.
She's a territory, sir. My people had to come and immigrate over here. She could have just got her passport. Okay, those are American feats. Even though she swear she wished they were Nigerian. Come on now. I mean, instead of an oak tree, you're gonna get a palm tree. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot wrong with that, to be honest with you, sir.
I mean, she got 4 kids.
It's just too much wrong with that.
You the one that took the picture.
I actually screenshotted the picture, but we was something I was going. I know you saw what the ADL sent out yesterday.
Oh yeah, and fuck them.
Everybody saw that. I said, and then they deleted. They turned off their comments.
They turned off their comments since.
They turned the comments off the quota tweet. Don't quota tweet, boy.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying they've had their stuff off ever since Jonathan Greenblatt embarrassed himself over October 7th.
God, no, they were getting their ass handed to them in them damn quota tweet. Everybody was roasting their ass.
Yeah, because you gave Elon a break, and now Kanye want to come outside and tweet for 3 days, hard body on you, and now you want to say something? No.
Yeah. I think everybody don't caught on to their grip. Everybody don't caught on to their grip now, so the ADL ain't getting no shit no more. Nobody's gonna listen to them like that no more.
Mm-hmm. No, MSNBC don't even pick up the phone for that man no more.
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Now see, MSNBC could be gangster with it and call up Kanye for an exclusive interview and let him just go off. That'll save their network.
It's a crazy. Hold on. Excuse me, I had to burp. It's a crazy world.
Go ahead and talk to me, sir. I'll be off code for about an hour. I'll let you go off.
What are you talking about?
I want to extend that. Kanye, come over here and talk to me, sir. I'll be off code for an hour. I'll let you say whatever you want. I'll risk my channel.
Oh, your channel gonna be gone. They're like, who is this? Oh, this is a small channel. We get rid of this easy piece. Give it his ass right now.
They'll be everywhere else. Now you know why? Once it gets the national, international attention, they can't throw it off.
Shoot, they get rid of your shit in a heartbeat.
Oh no, they gonna shadow ban me like they did G-Boot. I'm gonna get 3 people back up in here again.
Ain't no damn thing. All right, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down and land my plane, sir.
All right. Better than them Panthers. Everybody. But anyway, we have come to the end. Miss Lisa is live now, so y'all can go over there. Hopefully you learned something. If you did a dumb job. If not, try to be better next time. We will see you tomorrow for talks. Got an interesting subject coming up for that. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care, stay safe. And you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. But before we go, DSB, thank you for being a member for 22 months. That's a blessing. And you get this here. Yo 103 Queen. Thank you for the $5. That's a blessing. And you get this here. And DSP, thank you for the 99-cent super sticker. That's a blessing. And you get this here. Yes, CRU Realty, thank you for being a member for 9 months. That's a blessing. And you get this here. All right. We are gone.
Time's up.
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove on.
At the end of the day gotta end.
That's it.